This guy actually barged into the women's restroom with his friend, and the two of them were crawling on the floor, trying to peek into the stalls. It turns out that when Joseph was trying to tell Abdul about what happened to him, he suddenly spotted Mariah watching him from the corner. So Joseph and Abdul went after her. The two chased Mariah all the way to the women's restroom. After some hesitation, they decided to sneak in anyway, but they had no idea which stall Mariah was hiding in. Joseph mentioned that Mariah had beautiful legs. He said if they got down on the ground and looked, they'd be able to figure out which one was her. Abdul couldn't worry about being a gentleman anymore and had to check the stalls one by one. When he looked at the fourth stall, a pair of long, slender legs suddenly appeared. So Abdul immediately called Joseph over to take a look. But the sliding lock on the door got pulled by Joseph's magnetic force. In the end, all the stalls flew open at once. The two of them froze on the spot. And in the fourth stall, the grand finale, was the old lady Joseph had run into earlier. The old lady blew Joseph another kiss. Joseph thought this bizarre encounter was even more terrifying than running into an enemy stand user. So the two of them quickly escaped through the window. But the moment they escaped from the women's restroom, Mariah appeared in front of them again. While chasing Mariah, Joseph warned Abdul not to touch any suspicious electrical outlets. That was the enemy's stand. Once you touch it, you become magnetized. However, when Abdul rescued Joseph earlier, he'd already touched the suspicious outlet. So as they chased Mariah, the distance between them kept getting closer and closer. Finally, they both fell to the ground. When they struggled to stand up, they were still stuck tightly together. And as the magnetic force grew stronger, the two couldn't easily separate anymore. Joseph had no choice but to grab onto a nearby railing and have Abdul slowly slide down. Since opposite magnetic poles repel each other, when Abdul reached Joseph's feet, they should be able to separate. But as Abdul slowly moved downward, he started to feel like this position was kind of awkward. Joseph insisted that nobody would pass by here. But the next moment, Joseph realized they were already surrounded by onlookers.